Hello there everybody, it is me XFreezerBunny, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed building video. So today we're speed building a house called the Tropical Townhouse. So this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, modern contemporary home with a little bit of a tropical flavor mixed into it as well. So this is a little bit of a smaller house, but let me tell you guys that the interior came out really nice. So for the exterior, I actually tried to make it a little bit more realistic, which is actually something that I tend to do with a lot of my more recent builds. I try to go for a more realistic looking house, just because I think that The Sims 4 can sometimes get too cartoony and stuff, but if you really put an effort into making things look realistic, then they actually do look quite nice and realistic, and I think that's really great because that just means that the game is nice and versatile. So in terms of the proportions, in terms of like how everything looks overall, I think the house itself, the structure of the house itself actually came out looking really realistic. And for those of you guys who are actually familiar with architecture, you would know that this is actually a really practical house to have in the tropics. That's why I decided to actually call it the Tropical Townhouse, because a lot of the architectural features of this house are actually very much suited to the tropical climate, such as the hipped roofs, for example. Hip roofs are very advisable to use in tropical houses because they help protect the house from the heat and also from the rain. And also hip roofs are very effective against typhoons as well. So that's just a little something I learned in architecture school. And also, you guys also notice the taller walls help with ventilation, and the floor-to-ceiling windows actually allow natural lighting. So, you know, it's a win-win situation if you ask me. So I'm using some really similar details here with my previous speed builds, where I use kind of like an archway and a couple of columns to make a really grand 2-story entrance, because we don't have 2-story archways or even 2-story columns in The Sims 4, but I really liked it because I actually see a lot of these kinds of houses where I live, and I live in a tropical country, so I'm very familiar with it. So yeah, it also obviously sits on a foundation because you know, sometimes there could be some unexpected natural disasters like floods and stuff, for example. So yeah, that's definitely something that I tried to consider. One thing that I actually used for the first time in this build is actually that brown roof. I was gonna say gray roof, but no, it's a brown roof, and it's really unusual for me to use so much brown because I usually don't use that color. But for the roofs, I remember seeing a lot of houses in my country that have a brown roof, that like literally that exact same brown slate roof. Actually, one of my country's really famous architects uses brown slate roofs quite a lot, so I felt like that was really reminiscent of what I'm familiar with seeing in tropical architecture, so I had to include it, right? So anyway, the person who I was designing this for is actually supposed to be a travel agent. Now, I really would like to have a travel agent in The Sims 4. I think that is such an awesome profession, you know, arranging people's vacations and stuff. So basically, the person who lives here is a travel agent who runs the agency by herself, and she also founded and owns the agency as well. So she is a single employee, and she lives here by herself. I mean, it could be himself or herself, whatever. But for this video, we're just gonna call it herself. And, you know, she's always busy socializing with different members of the community, and of course, arranging people's vacations and stuff like that. So she works from home, actually. That's why you guys will see that she has a lot of work equipment in her bedroom. And for the ground level, I made sure to make it actually look really nice because I feel like, I don't know, I didn't really research that much on travel agents, but I feel like our travel agent is going to be entertaining quite a lot. You know, sometimes she might bring clients over to her house and entertain them for some, I don't know, maybe for some snacks or something like that, or like, I don't know, maybe for dinner if travel agents would even do that. So yeah, I made the ground level actually very nice and spacious and perfect for entertainment. So here we are just incorporating the windows. By the way, I actually didn't speed up this video as fast as I normally do. Usually I speed it up a little bit faster than this one, but it's only, the speed build itself is like less than 20 minutes, and probably the entire video is probably going to be 20 to 21 minutes once I filmed the, you know, the house tour video parts and stuff. So I didn't feel like I need to like make it sped up too fast, if you guys get what I mean. So, it's actually not noticeable. Looking at the video right now, I feel like the speed is the same, but it's not. It's actually a little bit slower. So hopefully it'll be easier for you guys to see. Actually, you know what? It's not noticeable to me, but maybe it is noticeable for some of you guys. So please let me know. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback. And here is where I actually changed the color, or some of the color for the outside paint. I changed it into this kind of like really kind of nice yellowy color, which I think actually works a lot. I feel like I will change it into a slightly different yellow color though. I'm not sure. That might be it, but I don't know. I feel like that yellow color just made it look so much more tropical and nicer. So yeah, I really liked how that looked. Also, another special feature of this house is split level. So split levels are always quite tricky to do because, you know, the game was not necessarily built for them, but I was able to make it work here. So most of the ground level is actually an open floor plan, which is another good solution for tropical architecture, because open floor plans really do great in terms of like the ventilation and circulation and stuff like that. So it's very common in tropical architecture to have open floor plans because it just makes it more efficient. You know, everything's more efficient in terms of energy consumption and stuff like that. And those things we have to think about as architects. So yeah, so basically the main living room is on the split level area underground, if you can even call it underground. And then the area is subdivided into two by the downstairs bathroom, which is also a full bathroom. I forgot to mention, but this house has 2 full bathrooms. And it's really tricky actually to get everything right here. So you guys can see that I'm definitely just taking my time and making sure that everything is right and everything is functional. And you guys don't have to worry because this is a pretty functional build. I actually went into this and I tested everything off camera when I finished building it, and it does work quite fine. So yes, no worries. So let's see here. For the interior wall coloring, we have a base of white actually, and then we also have some accent walls later on, which I'm going to incorporate because everything just looked quite flat with the white paint. So I will add like some accent colors of some green, some lime green, and yeah, all those good stuff. And I'm really, really proud of how the kitchen turned out. So I'm really excited once we get to there. But actually, unusually, the first room that we actually decorate is the dining room. So the dining room has a 4-seater dining table, which I actually really like. I don't even know what that table came with. I'm gonna say Parenthood. It actually looks really nice. I really liked the mosaic tabletop. I really appreciated it. I feel like it made it look really, really kind of special. And then over here, attached to this rock wall, is actually kind of like a breakfast counter area, which has 3 bar stools. I could have put 4, but I felt like 4 was too cramped, so I just put 3 instead. And then for the kitchen, it actually came out really nice. I had to take out the one, let's see, the one kind of like the one large tall cabinet. I don't even know what you would describe it, but there's this one tall cabinet in the corner, and I had to take it out because I realized when I was testing this that there was no surfaces for the Sims to prepare their food, so I had to take out one cabinet, but it still came out really nice. I think off camera, actually no, I know that I was able to record that, but I will put a feature wall. I will put like a lime green tile feature wall in the kitchen. It actually made the space more elevated and it looked really nice. So it turned out really well. So yeah, overall the kitchen's a little bit on the smaller side, but still it came out really, really nicely. And yeah, I actually really like the effect of the floor to ceiling windows. I will put some Venetian blinds over them. Do you guys even use the term Venetian blinds, or is that like a Filipino thing? I don't even know. But in my country, those are called Venetian blinds. Like nobody, I mean, it would be 10 times more easier to just call them blinds. But in my country, it's called Venetian blinds. I don't even know why. So I'm calling them Venetian blinds, period. So here we are adding the different accent walls. So for the main kind of like foyer, staircase, landing area, it is going to be kind of like a peachy brown color. And then for the dining room and also for the living room, we have some lime green accent colors, which I really, really liked. It made it feel a lot more tropical as well. I don't know, when I see that color, it makes me think of avocado, which you guys, if you have tried like frozen avocado that you slush with like, and you add like milk and sugar to it, it tastes so good. My uncle actually owns a farm, and he would usually send us a lot of avocados growing up. Unfortunately, my uncle passed away many years ago, so no more avocados, unfortunately. Anyway, so for the main living room, it actually was a lot of fun to furnish because I was able to use a lot of new items. I was able to use a lot of items from the Parenthood game pack, and also from fitness stuff. I think that fitness stuff had great bathroom items, so I was able to use those. And for the living room, we have, I believe, 2 love seats that came with Parenthood. I'm gonna say that both of them came with Parenthood, and I don't know, they were just so fun. I imagine the person living here to be a little bit more on the younger side, so, you know, the main living room, it's very youthful. It's perfect for, you know, social gatherings and socialization, and there's also a lot of clutter as well everywhere. Some of it I had to put off camera because I just did not have time for it, but yeah, you know, as I mentioned earlier, the person who lives here, our travel agent, she often works with the community, you know, communicating with people and socializing with different, you know, community groups and transportation groups and tour groups and stuff like that. So, you know, sometimes she just leaves things in clutter mode. So yeah, I actually really like how the clutter came out, and also that cushion thing, the Sims actually sit in it. You know, when they read books, they actually sit in that cushion thing. So yes. And just adding in more clutter items here in the dining room just to kind of fill up the space a little bit more. One unusual thing that I did do in this build is actually do the landscaping a little bit earlier on. Usually I do the landscaping last, but what I wanted to do is actually incorporate these palm trees, which I actually had a hard time incorporating in my previous build, the Floridian Dream Mansion. I had a hard time incorporating the palm trees because they just look really weird, but I feel like they really, really worked for this build in particular, so I was able to stick with them, and I think they worked, you know. Off camera, I will actually add a fountain area over here, and I actually moved some of the plants as well to have that fountain because I just felt like we needed to have a water feature. So I will put a fountain and also move a couple of these plants as well. And I also changed that corner tree. There you go. You guys just saw me change that corner tree next to the garage area, parking lot, whatever. I changed it into just this non-palm tree. I don't even know what tree that is. So I don't know. It's that bad. I don't really pay attention to the types of trees in the game. I'm just like, okay, it's a tree. Okay, it's a palm tree. It's a pine tree. It's a tree, just a normal tree. I don't know. Some people actually know the trees by name, and I really admire them. I just choose which trees look legit, and after that, I just move on. So right now we are furnishing the master bedroom, which has a predominantly ocean blue color scheme. So you guys can see that I used a mixture of different blue tones, like blue greens and light blue colors. So yeah. This is not only the bedroom, but it's also kind of like the office area. This is basically like, the headquarters where our travel agent manages and runs her business. And the very first thing that I chose was the bed. I wanted to use a bed that I did not use a lot of. And this one, you know what? I used the bed itself, but that color option I never used because I was not a fan of how the bed sheets looked like, actually, to be honest. But I was able to make it work here because even though I'm still not loving the bed sheet, when you guys see the room completed, you don't really notice the bedsheet that much. So yeah. So for the master bedroom, we have kind of like a combination of purples and blues for the colors. And then for the wood colors, we have this kind of like white, dirty white, and light wood colors as well. And I really wanted the master bedroom to look really casual and really kind of, almost vlogger-like. I don't even know how to describe it. Like Tumblr-like, if you guys get what I mean. So there's a lot of color, there's a lot of sparkle, there's a lot of really interesting things happening. There's a lot of really nice textures and depth and personalities happening, which is quite fun. And, you know, our travel agent, she also loves to travel, so I put that kind of like picture thing on top of her bed so she can put like little snapshots, her favorite like snapshots and stuff of her destinations that she's been to. And of course she has to have a desk, so she can run her business. And one interesting thing that I also put in her bedroom is actually a safe, because I felt like that would be very beneficial for somebody running their own business from home, like somebody running their home business from their bedroom. And there's also, corkboard as well, so she can put like different postcards if she makes friends. If she makes friends abroad, you know, she can ask them for some postcards to send to her and stuff like that. So I've never ever completed the postcards in The Sims 4. Like, I feel like I came so close in some of my LPs to finishing them, maybe like 2 or 3 more, and everything would have been completed, but I never really finished it. So that's one frustration that I have. We're furnishing the guest bedroom right here, and it's honestly just a really basic bedroom. One interesting thing that I did here that I don't normally do is I actually put the bed on the side of the wall. So the Sims will be able to get to the other side of the bed. They just have to scoot. And yeah, I thought that was really interesting. But I did make it as neutral and as basic as possible, mainly because I didn't want to like spend too much time on it. So yeah. Another room that I furnished off camera was actually the downstairs bathroom, and like I said, I used a lot of fitness stuff in that room, so yeah. And over here we were using some Parenthood and I believe some spa day items as well, so yeah, I really like the spa day items, to be honest. I always find myself using them in a lot of my builds, whether it's like the mirrors or whether it's like the counters or the appliances or like the the plumbing stuff. So I don't know, it's really fun. And the master bathroom actually came out really nice and spacious. And pretty much the last thing that we're gonna do here is actually put in kind of like the barbecue area downstairs. So we have this barbecue table and a grill as well, because I felt like it would kind of be nice to have, like, you know, evenings on the patio and having barbecue with friends and stuff like that. So just wanted to put that there. And yeah, the lot traits for this lot are, if I remember correctly, it's romantic, party place, and natural light as well. So that is going to be it for the speed builds. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and wrap my commentary up right here. If you guys want to support the video, please don't forget to leave a like or dislike, because engagement is good. Maybe you guys can share so more people can see my video, and also please consider subscribing to my channel. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. You all have an awesome day. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.